Let's get started. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Fine? Not so hard on a Sunday morning? After the party? Okay, so thank you for being here. It's really a pleasure to be here. And so, two things. First thing is, I just have a few slides. I don't like slides really much. And I prefer to show you code and do some live coding. And I think that's what you are waiting for. So that's the first thing. And second thing is, I'm going to talk about security. That sounds boring, no? But security, it's something you will always have to do in your project. There will be a moment, mostly at the end, oh yeah, we need to do security. And you will do it probably not in the right way. And it will pollute your code and stuff like that. But I have good news for you. Security can be easy, really easy, especially combined with Spring Boot, if you're building a Spring Boot app. And I will show you that. So just a few words about myself. I'm Sébastien Blanc. I'm half Dutch, half French. That's why I have this weird accent. That's my Twitter handle if you want to follow my trolls. And I work for Red Hat on the Keycloak project. Okay, so security. Let's go back to security. Like I said, you will do it at the end of your project. You will build the logging screens. You will implement the whole authentication flow in your app. You will create the tables for the users. How do you store the password? In clear text, maybe not, and over. And then you're done, and you move your project to production. You start a new one, and guess what? You have to do it all over again. So it would be more easily if you could delegate your security. You know, Kim, she does that. She delegates her security to her bodyguard. And, well, that is Keycloak. Keycloak will take care of all your security matters. Your authentication, your authorization, management of your users. And just to give you the big picture of how Keycloak works, let's take a look at this. So, Keycloak works with the concept of realms. That's a really hard word to say for me in English, realms. So I speak about territories. So at Keycloak, you give him a territory that he has to secure. And on this territory, you have different cities. So in the north, you have JEE land. No one wants to go there anymore. On the other side, you have Angular land. That's the place to go. Everyone wants to go there. We got microservices land. Not really sure what is happening there. And of course, the king of the world, Node.js land. And so you, the user, you arrive, you navigate on your boat to Angular land. So really, imagine someone navigating on his browser and accessing a web app. And you arrive there, and you have border control. No, mister, you are not authenticated. Please go to the Keycloak island to get authenticated. So you're redirected back to this small island here, that is Keycloak. And you get a redirect, and a real redirect, an HTTP redirect. You are redirected back to Keycloak. There you arrived on the Keycloak island. You put your credentials. And if everything is okay, you get a stamp. It's okay, you're now ready to visit all these awesome cities on this island. And what is this stamp? It's not just a stupid token with random numbers. No, it's more than that. It's a token that contains everything you need. It's a JWT. It's weird, we say JWT. It's for JSON Web Token. It's a token. We speak about self-contained tokens. That means that it's a token that contains payload. It contains stuff like your username, your roles, until when are you authorized or authenticated, and stuff like that. And you can use that token from service to services to be sure, and each service can just inspect that token to be sure you're the right person, you have the right rights to access this service. Quickly, because I want to move to the coding part after that. A JOT token has always 3 parts. A header, not so interesting. The claims part, that's the interesting part. That is the payload of your token. As you can see here, it contains some roles, a username, expiration date, stuff like that. And with the header and the payload, Keycloak will sign this token. And how does he sign this token? Well, Keycloak has a public-private key pair, and he will use his private key to sign the token. And the signature will be part of this token. So basically, and then he will compress that in base 64. So that is a compressed token. And that last part is the signature. Signature is really important because once a service, a REST service, for instance, receives a request, and in the header there's this token, he has to verify this token. And he will, just using the public key that Keycloak gave him to him, he will be able to verify the token and authorize or not the service. So that's Keycloak. I could speak 1 hour about Keycloak, but I prefer to spend more time on live coding. But quickly, it's an out-of-the-box solution. You will see that. You just unzip it, start it, you're ready to go. Of course, it's open source. Everything that I will show you is totally open source. That means that you can contribute as well. So please do. If you find a typo in the documentation, you have a crazy feature in mind, you want to add some tests, just go for it. We accept a lot of PRs. A lot of stuff that I will show you has been contributed by the community. We support OpenID Connect, of course, but also the old SAML tool in Kerberos. We have social logging brokering. I mean, you can easily bridge with all the social media like Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, whatever. You can add that to your app. We have also user federation. That means if you have an LDAP server, we can also make the bridge easily for you. Single sign-on. If you are logged in on one app and you open a tab and you access another app from your same company, well, you don't have to log again. SPIs, that means if you want to, you have a corner case, use case really specific to your company, it's pretty easy to extend the Keycloak server yourself. Okay, it's demo time. That's just, I was so proud of that. In the last report of Fogforward, we were included in the radar, and we are in really close to adopt. I hope that next time we will be in the adopt time. So let me see, 42 minutes. Should be pretty much okay. Okay, I'm done with the slides. I want to give you really the full experience of someone that really starts from zero, from scratch, using Keycloak. So where do you start? Well, you start on keycloak.org, and you go to the downloads, and you just grab a zip of the latest server distribution. Okay, that's that simple. And then you have it here. You can see I downloaded it yesterday. And then you just extract it. Let me extract that to JavaDay folder that I made here. Okay. Let me extract that. Did it happen? I'm not sure. Let me see if yeah, it's there. So let me increase a bit the font. I go to my Keycloak distribution. I go in the bin folder. And there I have a command, standalone, just to launch my server. And here I give just an extra parameter to have a port offset, because we will be building other apps and I don't want any conflicts. But that's it. So I just unzip it. I start my server. OK, here we go. It's almost done. OK, it's running. So I just can access that to the localhost 80/auth. And because it's my really first time I'm accessing my Keycloak server, I have to define an admin user. So let's make it admin. Admin, really secure. OK, here we go. And now I can access my, oh, I have to log in again, of course, now. Admin, that's. OK, and here I'm on my Keycloak console. That's the place where I can create my realms, my territories, the clients. So the clients mean for Keycloak any app that you want to secure. Could be a front-end app, a back-end app, whatever. It's a client for Keycloak. You can create your users, your walls. Let's start by creating a new territory. Let's call it JavaDay. Here we go. And let's now create a client. So you will see in a few minutes, we will be building an awesome product, also application called the product app. So let's create a new client, and let's call it the product app. OK, that's the definition of my client. I can keep all the defaults. I want to use OpenID, of course. It's a public client, OK? And the only thing I need to fill in here is the redirect URL, because when my app will redirect me to Keycloak, it has to redirect me back to my application. And that's the only only stuff I need to fill in, and my app will be running on localhost 8080/star. Here we go. And we save that. OK, we created our client. Let's create a role for our users. Let's create a really simple role just called user. Here we go. And let's create, finally, a user. Pretty easy to create a user here. Let's call him Sibi, my nickname. Save. OK, user has been created. By default, I don't have any credentials. I can add some credentials, so let's make it really secure with Sibi again. OK, change password. And very last thing I want to do is to apply the user role to my user I just created. OK? So I'm done. I've set up Keycloak. We are ready to build an application now that can use this Keycloak realm. And just drink some water, because I speak a lot. OK. Where do you go when you want to create a Spring Boot app? Exactly. I won't do the Josh joke of zooming in, start, make your life better with Spring and a slicer. OK, but that's where I start, exactly. So let's create a new Spring Boot app. Let's call it the product app. And what do I need? So I need some web, because it's a web app. I will be building an old-school app with templating. So I need FreeMarker. And of course, I need Keycloak. So Keycloak is available on start.springanalyzer.io. So you can just grab it here, generate project. Cool. Wow. Didn't break the computer. It's not really stable. I have to relax a bit. OK, let's unzip this. And I extract that to my JavaDay folder. OK, I extract it here. And then I go to my IDE, and let me open the project here. And let's go here, JavaDay. And it should be here. OK. Yeah, new window. OK. So let's. So here we have an empty project, typically a Spring Boot app. And the really first thing that we will do is create our landing page of our awesome app. So I go to Resources, to Static, and I just create a new HTML file, and let's call it index. Okay, title, and here let's just add a title, my awesome landing page. Okay, and we just have one link that will bring us to our product page. So products, and we call it my products. Okay, so that's my landing page. Let's do some code now. So that is my app. Let me increase a bit the font. Okay, what do we need for a Spring Boot app? We first need to define our controller. So let's create a controller, and let's call it my product. Controller, okay. And in this class, well, I want to have a mapping to my products. So I do get mapping on the path products. Okay, and here I create a method, public, to return the string. It's the name of the template. Get products. And I just pass the model for my template. Model, that's the one, yes, and model, okay. And here, really simple, we put in the model our products. So we call it products, and I just pass a list, a hard-coded list of, well, iPhone, Android, and I don't know, iPad. Okay, that's it, and I return the name of my template that will be called products. Products, okay, so now let's create our products template. So I go here to templates, and here I create a new file called products.ftl because it's a free marker template. And here I need to do some boring stuff, sorry, but I have some, yeah. So HTML, let me increase the font a bit. Okay, let's give it a title. My products. Okay, and here what we want to do is iterate on the list of products and just display them. So I got also an, you see how I type fast? Awesome. Here I just iterate on my products, and I just show them, and I need one more thing. Let's add a BR here. I just need a link to be able to log out. Okay, and here it will do log out. Okay, and let's call it logout. So I need to add the logout stuff to my controller. Pretty easy. Again, it's just a get mapping on logout, and here I create my method logout. And what do I need for the logout? I need my HTTP servlet request. So here, and I throw a servlet exceptions, I think. Yeah, that's okay. And basically, it's really easy here. Request.logout. Okay, and I return to my landing page. Let me think. Yeah, we're done. Our application is ready to be deployed, but it's not secured yet. So what I want is that the landing page is public. Everyone can access it. But the product page needs to be protected. So how do I protect my app with Keycloak? It's really easy. You go to the properties file, and you have some properties to add. So let me add. The first thing we need to specify is where is my Keycloak server running? Easy, it's running on my local host on port 8081/auth. Then I need to specify the name of the realm where my Keycloak server is running. We called it JavaDay, I think. Then the name of the resource, so it's the name of the client, the name of the app. We call that product app in Keycloak, if I remember well. It's a public client, true. OK, that are the mandatory fields. But now, I need to specify my security constraints. So if you know a bit about Java EE style, you did that in the web.xml. You just define security constraints of passes that needs to be secured. Well, it's pretty much the same here, except it's in the Spring Boot properties format. I think I got security. Yeah, look. It's a bit too much to type, so I have a shortcut for that. But if you recognize, you can recognize the XML structure of the web.xml. So I create a new constraint, security, specifying a role, here user the role. And here basically I say I create a new constraint that says that every request coming to products needs to be authenticated and the user needs to have the role user. I'm done. No code touch, you don't need it. So let's try to just start the application. So here I start my Spring Boot application. Here we go. It's running already. Spring Boot is really fast. Let me open a new incognito window, localhost 8080. My awesome landing page, great. OK, and now if I click on my products, I should be redirected to Keycloak. Let's see if it works and if the demo gods are nice to me this morning. OK, so here I've been redirected to the Keycloak server. And well, I should be able to log in with Sebi, the user I just created. Login. And I have my list of products. Great. You saw? It was really easy to secure the app. Let me go back for a second on this screen. So the nice thing is with Keycloak, you have total control of what you want exactly on your login screen. So let's go back to our console, which is right over here. And let's go under Realm Settings. And here you have a tab called Login. So imagine that I want some user registration, sure. Users will probably forget their password, so I want a link so they can ask for their password. You just have to configure here your email server. Remember me, of course, because you don't want to type over and over your password. And, well, you just save. And if we go back to our login and JavaDay here, if we just refresh this, you can see I can register as a new user. I have the remember me password. So it's that easy. Other thing, you want probably social media integration. OK, let's see if we can do that. I got here a tab called Identity Providers. That is everything out of the box. You can add your own one if you want. But so we are all developers here, so you will all have a GitHub account. Here, I just put dummy numbers, but you should put here your real client ID and client secret. OK, I save it. Let me add another one, Twitter, for instance. Again, let me put dummy numbers here. OK, we save it. And guess what? If I go back to my screen here and that I refresh, now I can log in. Keycloak will just make the bridge. OK, so that's easy. And I just show you 5% of what is possible. The team here behind the look and feel, of course, we provide a default one, but it's all based on templates, and you can really easily add your own theme that matches your company look and feel. 26 minutes. I can drink some water then, before we go to the next stage. OK. So what we did here, we secured, in fact, the servlet container that is in Spring Boot. In this case, it's Tomcat. By the way, you can switch to Undertow or Jetty. We support that as well. transparently. You don't have to change anything. But if you're used to Spring Boot and you are doing security, you probably want to use Spring Security. Let's see if Spring Security and Keycloak can work together. OK, so let me go to my POM. And you see here it's a really simple POM. I just have my Keycloak starter, my FreeMark starter. All you need to do, well, there's not that much work. First of all, let me add the Spring Boot. Let me auto-enable here. Let me add the security starter. That will just bring in the Spring Security dependencies. OK, here we go. And if you know a bit about Spring Security, you probably know that you have to extend a security config class where you will be defining how the users are authenticated on which routes and stuff like that. Well, the good news is that we provide already a class that extends the security config, and in turn, you just have to extend that class. And because I'm really lazy, to do that, I just go to the Keycloak documentation. Here, documentation, and there is a section about Spring Security here. And I can basically just grab this class here, and we will tweak it a bit, but here we go. And let me just paste that in our class here. I put it here. Here we go. I just have to remove public here. OK, so without going too much into the details, important part is here. Here's where I configure my routes, my users. So what we can do here is remove this one and replace this with products and make the user role in lowercase. User, OK. Just two small things I need to change here. The first one is by default, Spring Security for roles, it will always append the word role in uppercase, underscore, and then the name of your role. We could change that in the Keycloak console to prefix all our roles with that, but you can also tell Spring Security to ignore this prefix. So that is what we will start by doing. Let me see. It happens here in my configure global, and it's time for speed coding. Basically, what I do here, I put a simple authority mapper that just will remove the role prefix. And the other thing, for Spring Security, we are using the Keycloak Spring Security adapter, which is different than the Spring Boot adapter. They can be used separately. And while with the Spring Boot adapter, I can put my properties in this file, by default, the other adapters for Keycloak, they expect a JSON file that contains the configuration. But you can override that and tell, OK, don't look for a JSON file, just use the Spring Boot configuration file. Time for speed coding number 2. Configuration resolver. Yes, here we go. So basically, I can here, I create a bean called Spring Boot resolver, and I return the Keycloak Spring Boot config resolver. I'm done. Let me double check. Oh yeah, one last thing. We don't need that anymore because now it's Spring Security that is doing the security, not the servlet anymore. And here we go. Let me restart the server. And we should have exactly the same result, except let me go back to my landing page, my products, Sebi. Okay, so I have exactly the same result here, but now it's using Spring Security. So if your app is already using Spring Security, the only change probably that you have to do is instead of extending the Spring Security class, you just have to extend this class. And you see this class extends the web security configurator adapter from Spring Security. Okay, so next step. Now what we have here is a pretty ugly monolith app. And what we want to do is to extract this and instead creating a REST service, and my app will just be consuming this REST service that returns my products. Okay, so let's build a REST app. We'll be fast, don't worry. Okay, so let me do a new project, and I do here a Spring Initializer project, okay. And I call it product REST, okay. And all I need is web. So that's the same as the web page, but it's integrated in IntelliJ as well. I need web and I need Keycloak. That's all I need. Next, 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 product apps, it's there, finish, in a new window. Okay, so creating a REST service with Spring Boot is also really easy. So if I go here, and let me, oh, that's a bit too much. Okay, let me add here a REST controller, and let's call it my product controller. And here is basically the same method that we saw before, and it's on products. Okay, public. What do we return? A list. Yeah, we return a list of string, I think so, and it's get products. Okay, and that's it. And I just return arrays as list. Okay, and here just to Windows Phone, BlackBerry, all really modern phones. Okay, just to make the point that it will be different. So my REST service is done, and again I need to secure it. So like before, Keycloak, alt server URL. You know what? Let me just be really lazy and go here and just do that. Okay. Let me remove that. And let me go back to the other field here. That's product REST. Okay. So almost the same here, except that my resource will now be a REST app. And it will be, I will explain you that in a bit. It's a bearer-only app. What does that mean? That's just a flag that tells Keycloak, that is a REST service. So if a request comes in and it has no token in the header, it has no sense to redirect to a logging screen because it's not a human, it's just a service call. So this is a flag to say I only accept authenticated requests. Otherwise, I just return an error. And then here it's just the same as we saw before. I define the route that I want. One last thing is server port. Let's run that on 8081. Okay. Now I need to add this client in my Keycloak console to declare it there. And that happens in the Keycloak console. Pretty easy. I just go to clients here, and I create a new client, and we call it product West. Okay, and all I need to do here is to say it's a bearer-only app. I save. Okay, so now I can run this REST app. Let's run it. Okay, it's running, and if I go here, let's go in a new incognito page. I go to localhost 8081 slash products. It's working because you see here unauthorized, so you cannot access a REST service. It's protected. Now let's see how we can change our first app, the product app, so that he makes a call to my REST app, and he will basically do a REST call and putting in the header of my request the token. But you don't need to do that manually. We provide some stuff to do that. And if we go back here to our security, and we just, I don't remember my shortcut for that. Let me just, live template, it's a Cassie temp, okay. Okay, time for speed coding number 3. Okay, so basically what I do, just ignore this error. Just this IntelliJ that cannot understand the auto-wiring, but it should be working. What we have is, you probably know from Spring Boot the REST template, so you can make easily REST calls. We made an extension of this class called the KeyCloak REST template, and you can just use it like the REST template, except that it will put the token in the header for you. And so what we can do here now is just use this, and so probably what will be happening here is that I will be calling my service, but I need to create my service first. And because I'm really lazy, I go to the documentation, and I go to client support. So you see here, that is what we just did. And here, I just can grab this, and I just can paste it, probably. Yeah, that's great. And here, I just change it, and we will be calling our local host 8081 slash products. Okay, oh, it's a string class. Let me just change it. It's a list in my case. String, I think. String, and here I have to change that to list. I'm not really sure here of what I'm doing. Oh yeah, here. Let me do it the other way. I think it will work. Let me just try it. So here, what we do here, as you can see, we will be calling our other service. I need to fix that in the documentation, because I use the documentation for my live coding. And let me run it again. Okay, and now I'm not sure you will be able to convert it. I log out, I go to my products. Sorry? thank you. I didn't do the... What did I... Oh, yeah. Too much copy-pasting. Copy-pasting is bad. OK, thank you for that. Stop and rerun. And now, here, this one. OK, log out. Oh, yeah, it's not... OK. Sorry? Oh, yeah, I totally, yeah, sorry. I did it a million times this year, but, so, what I need to do. Product app, return as list product. Oh, yeah, I'm doing really stupid stuff, yeah. Let me forget everything you saw. Add attribute products, and here I put OK. Here I put so the response get body. OK, and I return the name of the template. Products. I'm not really sure. I don't. Oh, yeah. OK, I don't feel really confident about this as well, but let's give it a try. Otherwise, I just go to our backup app. So if I refresh here. Oh, no, it's working. Whew. OK, sorry for this. OK, so but you have the proof here that it's calling my REST service and it's authenticated. 8 minutes. Oh, cool, really cool. I have one more thing I want to show you. Since we have a REST service now, we can have a web app calling this REST service. So I can show you a bit how you can secure a pure web app. And in this case, it's an Angular app that will be just calling my product. So really first thing we need to do is go back to the Keycloak console here, and we will create a new client called product web. And it's a public client. He needs to be redirected to localhost port 8082/*. That's one thing. And because it's a web client, I'll also, to deal with cross-origin issues, I also need to put this. OK, we are good. Let's go to the REST app. Here there's just one thing I need to add also to deal with CORS. I say CORS is true. Oh, true. And with this flag, he will handle all the cross origins, the options, calls, and everything like that. So it's all I need to do. Just this flag. OK. Let me restart it. And let's take a quick look at the web app. And my web app is running here. Well, we don't have much time to go through the code. Oh, look, that is already configured. So here you can see the Keycloak configuration in the JSON format. So it's just a file calculated.json that I need to put here. And the interesting part is here in the code. So it's a pretty basic Angular app. All you need is the Keycloak JavaScript library. And from this library, you can instantiate Keycloak on the front end. And you say, when it loads, login is required. If the redirect works well, go in this success handler and we do some crazy Angular black magic stuff here. But the interesting part here is the Interceptor. So each time that my app will make a call to a REST service, I want to put the authorization token in the header. And with Angular, it's easy because you can make an interceptor and put that on your HTTP service. And just ignore most of the stuff here, just look at this line. That is what we basically do. Every time we make a REST call, add the token to it. Okay, so that's all. And the index is just a page that will show my products. Now I need to launch this app, so it's an app that I've wrapped in a wildfly swarm, yes, okay. So just ignore wildfly swarm. I just wrap it there, it's making a jar, and so I have oh, you start downloading stuff? Okay, no. It's just to have a web container. And if I go back now to my page here, and I go now to localhost 8082, oh, that's the old button. If I press reload, you see, I got my products. And did you also notice that I didn't have to log in? That's single sign-on. That's because I'm already logged in here. You see? So if I log out here, oh, no, I shouldn't show you that. Okay, but yeah. 3 minutes, okay. That's it. So just to summarize, I showed you how to secure, well, how to set up a Keycloak server by unzipping and creating a realm, a role, a client, securing a basic Spring Boot app, then switching to Spring Security, then creating a REST app, secure that app, makes the two of them communicate, and last part, creating a web app that consumes also this REST app. So you have the full picture now. So that was focused on Spring Boot, but you can do exactly the same with old school Java EE stuff. We have adapters for all the application containers. We have a Node.js module as well. We are currently working on a Go adapter. From the communities, there's some C#, C++ adapters. So basically, you can secure anything you want. There's some libraries on the for mobile as well. We support, oh yeah, just about mobile. If you're building a Cordova app, so a hybrid app, for those who don't know Cordova, our library, our Keycloak library, supports Cordova out of the box. It will detect it's a Cordova app, and you just have to add the in-app browser plugin to your Cordova app, and it will do the redirect and all the stuff. And so I have 2 minutes left for questions, but I'm here the whole day, so yes. So the question is Keycloak a replacement for all other OS2 authorizations? I would say yes, because it's based on OpenID, which is OpenID Connect is based on OS2. OS2 is not really a protocol. It's a framework for delegating authorization. It has no concept of authentication and no concept of identity management. And well, OpenID Connect brings that, and we support that, so I would say yes. Yeah. What does the store? Oh, the token? No, we don't. That's up to the developer. Our Keycloak service just return the token. And then it's what we do here. We don't store. We store it in memory in an Angular service, but that's up to the developer. But you should not put it in the local storage. It's If I have what? Sorry? Yeah? That is, yeah. That file, by the way, is generated for you on the Keycloak server. If you want, you just create a client and you will have this ready. Yes?
Thank you for the talk. It was awesome, and Keycloak looks really great. What are proper ways to integrate Keycloak user management with application business logic? Let's just imagine that we need that administrator confirms user registration, or we have multiple roles and user can register in multiple roles using like self-service portal. So how it should work?
Okay, you mean that for user registration we need to call other business logic, for instance, from
for example,
yeah.
Or like complex, several conditions that or complex flow for user
complex flow. So if you have a really complex custom flow, I talked to you about the SPI, so our service extensions. We have one for the authentication extension point. So you have a few classes to implement, and you can put there really your complex flow. And this way, it also takes into account registration of new users, stuff like that. That's covered by this SPI. So you should do it by yourself.
So in generally, I'm implementing the class and just uploading like a jar.
Sorry. And then you package it in a jar and you throw it in your Keycloak server. And I think we even do hot reload, so you can just drop it in your server and it will be available as new authentication protocol.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we use clustered mode of Keycloak, so you do not synchronize realms actually, because it's like public keys and you do not like use JBoss cache between them. And but when we couldn't change some stuff because different realms doesn't see. So if you use one Keycloak and the second, so they will be different, maybe for 10 minutes. And we can I have created bug for Keycloak, but it's like haven't resolved yet. So
how old is your bug? If you tell me, I can. To be honest, I'm really not on the clustering part, so it will be hard for me to answering your question. But what we can do, you can give me the Jira number, and I can try to put it a bit forward. Okay? No more questions? Oh, here.
Thank you for the talk. Does Keycloak support user federation?
Yes. Yeah. We support user federation out of the box. LDAP, Active Directory.
What's about like direct access to the database, like JDBC or something like that?
Well, then again, it's a bit. I will do the same answer. We have a user federation SPI, where you have to implement that yourself. We have examples for that. We have a really stupid example of users stored in a text file, and we show how to create an extension to be able to do user federation with this text file. So that will probably help you if you want to make a direct access to the database.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. It's okay? Okay, then thank you very much.